We've all been there, reading a book, watching a movie, playing a game, playing sport, whatever it is, there are moments that make our jaws drop open and we're left, mouth agape, looking in wonder with no words for what we've just witnessed. Some moments just absolutely knock us for six and we don't know what to do with ourselves, but what we do know is we cannot look away. Sometimes games can produce moments of stunning beauty or an emotional catharsis that just leave us speechless like nothing else can. Unlike any other medium, except maybe books, but in my opinion surpassing them due to the visual and interactive nature of them, games can provide some of the most intense payoffs and jaw-dropping scenes or actions. Because you're in control of the character, your investment into the protagonist is usually a far stronger and closer thing than it would be in the more passive mediums, such as film or TV. Just to be clear, this isn't a top 7 list, because that would just be too hard at this point. Here are 7, in no particular order, of the most epic jaw-dropping times in games. Number 1, Kratos kills Magni, God of War. This is a game and a series, of course, full of jaw-dropping moments, right from the get-go. But there's one that really starts it off in the PS4 exclusive, and this was the moment that Magni and Modi, the sons of Thor, had tracked Kratos and his son Atreus to the giant Thamur's corpse. The boss fight later ensues, and it is a really good boss fight, but you totally felt throughout that Kratos was being more defensive rather than offensive, and fighting within himself, and not being the beast that returning players knew he could be, and new players hoped that he was going to become. Eventually, after some time, Atreus is grabbed by Modi and then separated from Kratos with Magni on top of him. Spartan Rage moment then is able to be utilised, culminating with putting his Leviathan axe through Magni's face. Magni then crumpling to the ground, fear spreading from Modi's face right throughout his body. This is the moment that the players that were returning to the series were waiting for. The moment that new players, as mentioned, were hoping for. And a moment that Atreus realises his father is an absolute badass. It's also a moment where God of War, as a series, lives back up to its name. It was always a series about Kratos going around killing the gods of the Pantheon. And finally, this is the first time he does it in the Norse mythology. The game doesn't really then relent in intensity from this moment onwards, and the emotion, the pace, never slows from this point on, and the stakes are raised time and time again. On the first playthrough of this game, the game's very, very beautiful and nice up until this point, but undeniably this is the point from the game onwards where it earns the Game of the Year awards that it won during 2018, despite the tough competition.
There must have been some war to play with the likes of him.
I'll kill you!
Atreus! Control yourself!
No! How did you? You have no idea. You son of a bitch!
Number 2, Darth Vader's appearance in Jedi Fallen Order. The Jedi Fallen Order was definitely a good, if a little bit overrated game, and this was undeniably the moment that made it. It came right towards the end of the main story, following a tough boss battle with the main sort of boss, the second sister Trilla, and there was a bit of a cutscene where you were feeling, along with your kind of mentor, that you were breaking through to Trilla and maybe turning her back to the light, but then she suddenly freezes as she realises what's about to happen. And it takes you as the player a couple of moments to pick up on what's happening as well, but then you hear the familiar sound. The music lifts a little bit and there's a dropping from seemingly out of the sky of a black suited figure.
I've carried so much hate for you.
That doesn't look good.
It isn't. It's him.
wise to surrender?
Yeah. Probably.
Number 3. Meeting Minerva, Assassin's Creed 2. At the point where it happened, it was after 2 really epic games where Desmond's story had him accessing the memories of 2 of his ancestors. In the first game, Altair, and then in this game, Ezio. The story reaches a pivotal moment of Ezio's journey where he'd already had a fist fight with the Pope, which already you would think would be pretty high stake, but not compared to what was about to happen. The encounter itself was pretty cool, conversation was pretty interesting, but the reveal where Minerva essentially looks straight through Ezio and then instead calls Desmond by name, and then Ezio's "Who's Desmond?" question was kind of chilling.
It is done. The message is delivered. We are gone now from this world. All of us. We can do no more. The rest is up to you, Desmond.
What? Who is Desmond? I don't understand. Please, wait! I have so many questions!
Number 4. Coming face to face with a T-Rex, Tomb Raider. This is obviously the 1996 Tomb Raider, which was a game that was really ahead of its time. It was full of breathtaking moments, and I could probably make a whole video on this alone. Climbing up the Sphinx, the Atlantean monster, Colosseum, all these kind of moments. But for me, the biggest jaw drop of them all was found in the Lost Valley region. There were a few warning signs before that. You'd come across a couple of velociraptors, but nothing really could prepare you for the moment when you were running towards that infamous broken bridge and a T-Bloody Rex comes round the corner out of the pixelated shadows. I can almost guarantee that people right across the world in their living rooms were jumping out of their skins at this moment. And look, you can kill the T-Rex, but it takes a lot of doing, especially at this point, because you'd only either have the pistols, or if you were very, very smart, you may have been able to find a shotgun. It's a brilliant moment fairly early on in the game, and a series that is chock-a-block full of brilliant moments. Number 5. Discovering the Halo. Another franchise obviously full of jaw-dropping moments, but certainly this is the one that stands out and sets the tone for the rest of the game and indeed the franchise in general. Crash landing onto the Halo ring at the end of the tutorial/first mission aboard the Pillar of Autumn. It really was just a mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, incredible, amazing experience, especially as it came back in 2001 as well. Just amazing stuff. I'm not going to overtalk the rest of this entry, and suffice to say I could have selected a lot of others from this series, and I almost went with discovering the flood scene in the game, but I went with this instead because I just thought it was that moment that made me say, yep, I'm going to continue playing this game.
What is that thing, Lieutenant?
Hell if I know, but we're landing on it.
Your Honor, she's been hit!
I knew it. The Autumn's accelerating. Keys is going in manual.
Heads up, everyone. This is it. We're entering the ring's atmosphere in 5.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
If I still had fingers, they'd be crossed.
Number 6. Coming face to face with a Reaper on Rannoch, Mass Effect 3. Yet another series with countless jaw-dropping moments. The Reapers were the big bad of the Mass Effect trilogy, and with many epic moments throughout, not least the conversation with Sovereign in the first game where you realise that Reapers are not just ships, they're actual sentient beings. But by Mass Effect 3, there'd been this emotional journey and you'd gone through battle after battle and loss after loss of Shepard's squad mates and friends. Rannoch was a really big moment in Shepard's story, not least due to the repercussions for Tali, for Legion, the Quarians and the Geth in a wider context. But first, before all of that, Shepard has to face off with a Reaper, face to face, on foot, no less.
The destroyer is in range. Missiles are ready for launch.
And number 7, flying a crop duster onto a jet as Trevor Phillips. I'll finish off with my personal favourite jaw dropper of GTA 5. It's when you have to fly a crop dusting plane into the hold of a jet engine. I'm not going to keep going on this point because it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's just roll clip on that.
Come in, light aircraft. Identify yourself and state your intent.
Me? I'm just a lonely guy out dusting his crops. Who are you?
Unidentified aircraft. Divert your course or we will be forced to shoot you down.
Really? Shoot me down? Well, that seems a little extreme, doesn't it?
Final warning. Divert or you will be grounded.
My fate's in your hands.
We are clear to engage.
You're firing rockets at a crop duster? What's wrong with you? I'm flying here! Oh my good God! He crashed into the plane!
And that's our list here. These are just a few that I've picked out. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you enjoy this content, you want to see more, you want to give us a bit of feedback, please give us a like, share and a subscribe, and obviously a comment there as well. Really appreciate every bit of feedback that we can get. We're really still trying to grow and we want your input, please. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.